This smart Ram ProMaster DIY build was done in just 3 weeks and has everything you could possibly need, including a $30 shower and coffee bar even. Let's meet the creative owners, Martin and Barb. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Carol.
How's it going today?
Really well.
Awesome.
It's a nice day.
Thank you so much for letting me do this video of your DIY van. Now, currently, about how much time do you spend in your van per year?
Well, cumulative for the year, about 3 months plus is what we're in it. That's cumulative.
Now, right now, you're living with family in a southern state, and you said you kind of built your own granny flat.
Yep.
Add on to their house.
Yep.
So you added to the value of their house and still have a place for yourself.
Oh, they're great. They let me hang out with my grandkids, and I get to pick them up from school sometimes and just help out to do the things I like to do, like the lawn and stuff. So it's a great situation for us where our daughter and son-in-law actually like having us there. And we love being there.
Well, Martin, looking around this beautiful build, it's evident that although you built it in 3 weeks, I'm guessing you had some other experience doing this build. Is that true?
That's true. We have built probably at least a dozen different kinds of rigs, trailers to vans, a lot of different things, campers. And it's what I did before for fun. I enjoy doing the build.
Okay.
And so this was a chance to get to do it out of just using stuff at a regular hardware store and things I had already and things I acquired out of another RV I tore apart.
Now, you were saying that you did this build during COVID, so your ability to get supplies was limited, so you had to go with, as you say, what you had on hand and whatever was available at the time.
That's exactly right. So we just adapted to what there was. And I always wanted to build one with wood in it, and I've never done that. And so I'm an amateur at the wood.
Now, what kind of wood is this?
This is pine. This is tongue and groove pine, straight from Lowe's hardware store.
So anyone could access this kind of wood?
That's correct.
And you said self-tapping screws is what you used to?
Yeah, we just self-tapped it into the spars that go from side to side to hold the van roof together.
Now, you were saying that it was a little more difficult on this particular rig, the Ford Transit, because of the curves on either side.
Yeah, Ford Transit's the most curved of all the vans. So it curves from top to bottom, it curves, and from back to front it curves on the sides, and then also the roof curves from back to front. It's much lower and narrower in the front.
So did you have to kind of bend the wood somewhat?
Every piece. Well, we did it in Arkansas, which is very humid. We did it in summer, and so that aided in being able to bend it, but one board at a time.
Now, looking at the build, I'm looking over here at the wall. It looks like you didn't extend the wall over to the actual outside of the van wall, but you let yourself have this extra space on either side for head and foot room.
That's correct. That way we could run our bed east-west, and we utilized the space that we wanted in a regular mattress. This is a full-size mattress that you can just order online. It comes in a box and you open it up, put it up. And we utilize the space where the windows would be because it's the widest there by 6 inches.
Right, so you get about 3 inches on either side.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
And this is insulated too, so it's
And what did you insulate it with?
We used a rigid foam board and we covered it with felt.
Oh, so you're talking about the board that you have in the windows insulated.
Correct.
Now, what did you actually insulate the van with?
The van is insulated with Havelock wool. Of all things, during COVID, that actually we had no problems getting it right away. It came out of Reno, showed up in like 2 days.
Okay.
So.
Now, I'm looking over here, and you've got a beautiful antique, I guess, what is that?
It's a top to a French buffet. At least that's what the guy told me at the antique store. But he didn't have the rest of it. All I had was this, and it was just leaning up against the wall, and I'm looking at it, and we had to put something here because what I built actually wasn't very good, what I'd first designed. And I'm like, that'll work. So for $25, I bolted it to the wall correctly.
Now, do you have
So it won't
furring
come
strips back there?
No, we bolted, I put in a nutsert that goes into the metal,
Oh, okay.
expands out,
Oh,
and we
okay.
put nutserts all along there, and we bolted directly to the
So
wall.
that's really sturdy then.
Correct.
And I see you even have, what's that, paracord up there?
Yeah, so this is elastic though.
So every
And so we
single
can-
inch.
Yeah, elastic bungee cords are your friends in these things.
They are, they are. Well, you know what, I'm looking over here and I'm looking at your kitchen, which demonstrates clearly that someone in here is a coffee lover. I mean, you have an espresso machine, a coffee grinder, but what caught my attention was some of these antiques on the wall. Now, were these things you already had?
They are. They're things I already had either in another build or that I took out, or I just had them in storage. And so we got everything we could, laid it out and said, what can we use? And so it took a little while. You notice there's some holes that aren't being used right now. It's because we moved things around and
Okay.
took things down and put other stuff up.
So these aren't just decorations.
No, this is full of coffee. This is full of soda stream. This is full of spices.
So decorative items that also have a function. So in that you have all of these electrical things in terms of coffee makers and stuff, how do you power them?
Well, we power them with a house battery and a 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. And the house battery is just a 100 watt or 100 amp, excuse me, lithium
And that's
battery.
enough?
Yeah, it is. We have solar, 200 watts of solar on the roof. It keeps up, but we don't have a lot of power needs, just that. And we drive a lot. We
Okay.
drive a lot, so it's charging all the time too.
So you have a DC connection.
We have a DC to DC
Okay.
battery charger. Yes.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yes,
And do you also have shore power?
we do.
So tell me about this cabinet here. That looks like a utility cabinet, kind of.
Yeah, it is. It's a toolbox, and this is our. This is the second thing we put here, because what we had here first, it looked great, but it didn't work that great. So
Okay.
Barbara took her pots and pans into a Harbor Freight store, walked in with her pots and pans and her tea kettle, and then said, "Where are the toolboxes?" They pointed. She comes back here and makes sure this would fit. Tells the guy she'll take one in white.
How
'Cause-
clever is that?
Yeah, so-
to have to bring what you're going to need to put in there
Correct.
so that you can then use it. Oh my goodness, that's
So you
so
just put
smart.
your pots and pans, and we have them pretty jammed in there because you don't want them rattling and stuff. So
Right.
we would rather have an empty drawer and everything jammed in the other so they don't rattle and move around a whole lot.
Right.
So these stoves, which we like, we have another one, but we use this most of the time.
So most of your cooking you do on a simple butane stove.
Correct, because it works well in a van. And you turn this upside down.
And that fits in there too.
If I move something, yeah, it fits
So
in
it
there.
fits everything very neatly in there.
Right.
Let's go and look at your water system, which is very simple but functional.
Okay. So when we did first build a van, we had this sprayer that we used, and we just pump it up, and it was new. It's a little pump up. Ooh, I guess I got too much water in it. Anyway, sprayer, and we just spray dishes off with this because it puts out pretty good pressure. It works good and conserves water. But we wanted a sink for a variety of reasons. So this was on Craigslist, and it's a wall sink by Eklife.
Did the cabinet come with the sink?
Came just like the cabinet came with the sink. Sink was mounted to it. It had a bathroom type faucet on it, which of course won't work unless you got a pressure system in your van, which we didn't. We're using a Scepter container for water, and I dropped in this tube down there. I dropped in a simple little pump that you buy online, usually Amazon, and if you buy the Asian ones, they tend to last about 6 months from what I've read. I bought the German one. It was a little bit more money. It was like $40-some.
But cheaper in the long run.
But yeah, they're supposed to last a couple years. So, and then in here, this opens up. and we have an extra thing of water, and then this is our gray water
It's a
tank.
very, very simple system.
Right. And
So you don't have any tanks underneath that would freeze or anything.
No.
And then this, I like this because this goes up and down. Mm-hmm. And now
And this is an electric switch, and you just turn that on, and it regulates how much water you get.
Wow. Now, where did you find that? On Amazon?
That was on Amazon, yeah.
Okay. That is, and it's so small but so functional.
Yeah.
And very attractive. Now, what do you use to keep your food?
So we have a angle cooler.
You know, those are supposed to be really workhorses.
Well, this one is getting close to 15 years old. It's been in 4 different vehicles, and we'd love to have a bigger one, but this one will never quit because it just always runs.
Oh,
And it, of course, it's just a fridge. It looks like a cooler. So,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, and so it works great. You don't lose food. From the worst thing about a cooler is especially if the sun hits it, no one puts the ice around the outside edges, so everything up against the edges always goes bad.
I hate coolers.
Yeah,
I hate
and
those.
so this, you can just stick food in it, everything stays cold, it's great. And
Now, I
it
noticed you have it on a slide there.
yeah, so we can get it, we don't need it out all the time, so that's extra room right there. That's like 3 square feet, right?
Right.
That I get to use if that's pushed in. So this is my clothes in this one for me.
Okay.
The buffet top is Barbara's closet, and so this is just a DeWalt toolbox, whatever, tool chest, and I can take it off. That way, everything's wide open. I make it so I can take those off, and I can haul 12-foot boards. If they touch the dash area, I can put a 12-foot boards in here. So
you have the length here all the way to the back of the van there if you want to pull that. Okay.
if I pull that off. So everything we kind of make so it's usable. And of course, right in here is also our furnace, which came out of another camper I tore apart. And that furnace works great. It's propane. Most people don't use it, but I had it. So I'm a big fan of using what I had.
Repurposing things. Now, I want to ask you about your floor because this looks pretty sturdy. Did you put this in?
No, we bought this van, and somebody ordered it and had it delivered to the dealer, but they didn't take it, and they ordered it with this heavy-duty drive-on floor. That came from Ford. You could drive, if you could fit it in there, I guess you could drive a forklift on it.
So it's like a $1,000 upgrade or something.
Right, that's exactly what they are.
Okay. Now, I know this is kind of off topic, but I'm looking at this because I have a dog. I love this. What is this called? A water boy?
Yep.
And you were telling me it automatically fills with water when your dog drinks out of it?
When he drinks, it only allows just a little bit in the bottom, and so when he drinks some, it replenishes that, so it never splashes. It stays dry around it, so it just sits there when we're going down the road, and he knows where it's at.
I've been looking for a solution like that. Thank you. It's called a water boy. Now, speaking of water, how do you guys keep clean in here?
Well, we shower.
And how do you shower in here?
The way we used
see a shower.
Okay, well, the way we used to do it with our teardrop trailers, but we decided to do it indoors instead. So we hang up this. I'll just put a couple of them up here so you get the idea. I'm not going to hang the whole thing.
So you have hooks up in the ceiling. We're not closing it completely. And it goes all the way around when it's...
Yeah, it makes a complete circle around you. You stand in this tub, which is the tote you can hold the stuff in if you want.
And then how do you get your water?
And then we have a Scott's. There's all kinds of brands. But from Home Depot, these are like $25, $30.
And how much water can you get in one spray with pumping that?
Oh, like a couple minutes of water, depending.
Would you demonstrate this outside?
So, yeah.
So we're going to put the dog bowl out here, and you're going to spray it so we can see. But so I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's still going.
It'll just keep going. This is like the perfect amount of air. See, it's only got water to here. So So it gives you a lot of air volume to move the water.
So you can take a whole shower with just pumping it
Right. You just got
one series or two series.
The one thing you don't want to forget is to put enough boiling water in it to displace the cold water, make it all warm water.
Was one thing I would ask you if you would show, and that's how easy it is to convert this into the shower. Can you show that on here?
Yeah, sure. So the regular, like I said, Scott's sprayer, chemical sprayer, and then this handle comes. Doesn't look like this. There's a tube in between these two items so that you can spray trees or whatever. That tube, this has the same threads on both ends, so you can take that tube off, shorten it,
and you just have your shower.
and then you have multiple. Then you can hold it. It actually will lock solid. So,
And it has different
and you
kinds
can
of
lock
sprays.
it. Has different sprays. There's fan, there's stream,
Okay.
and there's cone.
I know everyone is going to want to know how and where do you use the bathroom?
Well, we try and put a curtain up, but we use the hidden underneath what looks like a chair bucket with the liners, the commode liners in them.
Okay, now
And
those are what you said they use in nursing homes?
Right, and you can get them two ways. One with a little gel packet, which we have, and then you can. They also, some of them you order and they come with a absorbent pad.
And are those pretty absorbent pads?
They absorb like, I don't know, 4 times their size.
Okay,
They get pretty big.
And this looks like, and this is an extra seat too.
Right. So
everything has to have a dual purpose.
dual purpose, and you have to be able to tie it down so it doesn't fly all over the place.
Yeah, I see you've got a bungee there.
Yeah.
That you've got to tie down with.
Exactly.
The last thing I'd really like to show is the air conditioning system and how you've set it up. I think that is really brilliant. So let's go look at that, shall we? Well, since you weren't anticipating whether that you were going to need an air conditioner, you didn't actually bring your air conditioner, but what kind is it?
So it's a portable air conditioner like you would buy at any box store.
So it's a stand-up kind.
Stand up. And so we made it, the bed is spaced enough far from the door that it fits right in here. And I put the manifold to hook the hose to right here. And I positively charge this area. I've sealed that in there. And in there is there's a vent that's in every car. And so like when you shut your doors, it doesn't pressurize. There's a one-way valve, a little rubber flap that covers that vent. And
so you're saying in every van, whether it's a ProMaster or a Transit, there's one of those vents in the back?
That's my understanding. They have to have something like that so you can close the doors without a massive pressurization. When I need it, I hook it up and it can blow through that valve. And if I don't use it back here, like if it's really hot and I want it to blow on me, because that's how they really work the best, is I move it to the front, and I've built another one that goes out the passenger side window.
Well, let's see the other side here.
Okay.
And see how that is vented.
So this would be a solid panel normally, and I just opened it up, and you can see that vent is about from here to here.
I'm going to make it a little bigger. You can see that vent there, yeah. I never knew that these had a vent down there.
Yeah, I'd take that off and show you, but it will break the clips when I do it, and I don't have any more right with me.
You know what? I said that was the last thing, but that's not quite correct. I just remembered 2 other things I don't want to miss, and that's your windows. You replaced the windows. Can you show the back windows?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love these.
So these windows are, this one has, they both have screens on them, and they fold up. These are made by Van Windows Direct.
So these windows you can get for almost any van?
Yes, we found them for several different models of van, and of course when I was looking, I only really looked for
But it opens up, and then on the other side, let's look at it again. It has a pull-down screen.
Right, so it's open, so you can just pull down the screen, and it's a regular screen, no bugs. If the doors are closed in that, the Max Air fan will pull a lot of air through them. Airflow makes a huge difference, and we have multiple kinds of fans.
That's the one thing that I really wish I had in my van. Let me get the name of this again.
Van Windows Direct.
Van Windows Direct. Well, let's look at the last thing now, and that is these self-made screens. So Barbara, can you explain how you made these screens? I'm loving these screens.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this fabric came from Lowe's. There's a theme here. And it's heavy duty, and you can roll it up, squeeze it, and it will not tear.
So you cut this to size or a little bit bigger.
And then I used leftover felt from the inside panels, and I made strips, and I sewed Harbor Freight magnets into the strips to hold it onto the door. And because of the felt protecting the magnets from the paint, it doesn't scratch the van.
So you've got magnets going all the way
around. Yes.
That is just brilliant. And these probably cost how much to make one screen?
Oh, maybe $5.
Oh, so much in here, so many beautiful things. Well, thank you so much for doing this tour of this beautiful, beautiful build. And you are possibly, I might be able to do a little bit of persuasion, and you might be willing to show me how to build a tiny, tiny little house on a trailer.
Absolutely. I think that is a wonderful idea. And I love doing new stuff and also sharing knowledge I've already acquired. Because I acquired it from somebody, so I like to share.
Well, all right. You heard it first here that Martin is committing to teaching me, and that should be a joke in itself. That'll be a video all by itself, me with a hammer. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I will catch you up down the road probably sooner rather than later.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Carol.
Bye-bye.